So, how do you know if you are fully enlightened? Now, some things that you will need to know before I tell you this is that you may have a primordial instinct to say that, yeah, I exhibit these qualities, but you're not really following them or you don't really believe in them. And you could come to that possibility, but you just don't want to because there's a fear and there's a giant energy blockage. It is important that you identify that, because if you have that, then you are not enlightened. You are on your path, but you are not enlightened. Alright? One of the things that I found was, it was like, I was living a hollow existence prior to this, and when I became enlightened, it was as if I was reconnected with a whole mind, and it lifted that hollowness, that emptiness, all of that. It was filled with this mind that I am a part of, and I've always been a part of. People will try to escape this, but they need to know that they are ultimately part of this. You may think Pleiadian, you may think I'm this alien race, I'm this alien race, I'm this alien race. You're Anunnaki. Unless you know otherwise. For Anunnaki, which that is what mostly inhabits Earth, they exhibit love. They see racism as animalistic, as in, if I was to wake up from a dream, if I was to wake up from a sleep that I never went into, and I was put on this earth right here, and I'm white, and I see somebody that is black, and they go up to me, they hurt me, and they say, I don't like you because you're white, and I go, well, fuck you, that's an animal. That is us. That is the fear coming out. And we are just letting it possess us. How you know you're enlightened is you really will not let nothing, seriously, I could just let anything wash over me, and not once will fear, not once will racism or hate or any of that ever flow out of me. You will have to implant it into my mind and then re-extract it out in order to do that. And that would take so much energy that you'd be better off not doing it at all. And that is, sorry, the text messages threw me off. I mean, when you're enlightened, you won't do any of that at all. You'll have a whole mind backing you up. And if you look at the mind of what is that? How can I put it in a better sense? You look at the mind, not knowing what it is. And that's alright. Because when you become reestablished with the mind, you will know. Another thing is if you're around another enlightened individual, love will just flow. It'll just flow. There'll be no hate, there'll be no discrimination. I truly only have one enlightened friend that I know personally that is enlightened like me, and The only time that fear or hatred or negativity ever comes out with us is when we're thinking about the humans. And that's because they're just such a big wallowing, not wallowing, there's just such a big manifestation of fear and all that, that it gives us a reason to go back into that even though we know better. If you're enlightened and you look at an ignorant person, it'll be like looking at an animal. Like, I have a dog, and I look at her, and she's a beautiful creature. She is. And, I think about her mind, and her mind is totally intact with the earth. And, what am I trying to say? I look at her, and I know that she is part of this separate existence other than me. We gotta understand that enlightened people, they will look at people and these people will be labeled ignorance. At least that's what I call them. They're just in ignorance. They're like in the in-between stage. They're not connected to the earth and they're not connected to the Anunnaki. So, I know I deviated and I forgot where I was going, but if you're enlightened and you look at an ignorant person, it is much looking at like an animal. An animal that you know is part of you and all that you represent, but they are still an animal. They're not conscious, they're not operating on full capacity. Not really sure what other signs. Oh yeah, meditation will be so easy. It'll be effortless to bring in abundance of universal energy. Like me right now, they say that you gotta be like, gotta have this up and be me right now talking to you. I am pulling in so much freaking energy into my body, and it's just helping me do all this. So when you're enlightened, that will become so easy. When you're in ignorance, it'll be like when you're in ignorance, it's like doing magic. That's not magic. It's just consciousness.